For joining us, I'm Doug Curran.
And I'm Leslie Draffin. We begin tonight in Troy, where friends and family are mourning the loss of a grandfather, father, and son who were all found dead from carbon monoxide poisoning over the weekend.
The Brown County Sheriff's Department identified the family as 41-year-old Brian Glass of Temple, 13-year-old Cody Glass of Troy, and 69-year-old John Glass Sr. of Brownwood. Our own Curtis Quillen joins us now. And Curtis, the community is finally starting to heal.
Leslie, a balloon release was held this afternoon to comfort one another after this loss. It's a final chance in healing before classes in Troy resume tomorrow. The Glasses were found dead Saturday on a deer camp between Brownwood and Bangs after using propane heaters in a box trailer without ventilation. Cody was in the 7th grade at Mays Middle School in Troy, and the mom of one of his friends says her daughter was devastated when she found out. So when her daughter asked to hold today's balloon release, she helped in any way she could.
You can't have any comfort or closure, anything to say it's going to be okay. I mean, the only thing I could offer her was, our faith in God.
Madrano says her daughter had all but 2 classes with Cody, and she hopes she can cope with not having him there tomorrow tonight at 6. We'll hear from Madrano's daughter about the loss the community feels tonight. Doug, Leslie.
And we're sure it is a large one, Curtis. Thank you very much. The search continues tonight for 2 missing Round Rock girls after their mother was found dead. The body of 44-year-old Tanya Bates was found on New Year's Eve in her home. Her 2 daughters were nowhere to be found. Investigators want to talk to Terry Allen Miles, whom they believe may have taken her children. Miles and Bates were roommates, according to police. Investigators say it's not clear how long Bates had been dead before her body was found. The girls are 14 and 7 years old. Miles was last seen driving a 2017 Hyundai Accent.
Now let's get you to a first check of your forecast.
Channel 6 meteorologist Zach Scott's joining us now. Zach, how are you, sir?
Doug, it's so good to hear your voice, pal. It's great to have the
bet.
team back. I wore the jacket for you, special occasion. I know it's your favorite. Hey, we had some snow out there. Not everyone saw snow today, but we had some scattered flurries around the region. Areas out towards the west, Coryell County, western Bell County, western McLennan, Lampasas County. They saw some good snowfall coming down briefly at times earlier this morning. The question was, we had been watching this the last several days. The questions were, would we have enough lift? Would the atmosphere moisten enough? And would said lift and atmosphere be enough to overcome a very dry air or very dry level of some air? Andy's over here messing with me. And the answer is yes, we did have some snow coming down. This is a picture sent in from Lisa out in Killeen. This is her youngest daughter's first afternoon ever seeing the snow come falling down, and she saw some beautiful flakes flying. So glad that she got to enjoy that. She looks too young for school, so she had a nice little school day. Here's a look at what radar looks like now. We do still have some areas of flurries out there. This is on the loop going back to earlier today. It'll start over here in a second. It was early this morning. We saw about 3 different areas there in Bosque County with some snow starts to fade out. Look at this area right here pulse up. That was some pretty good snow. And then we saw another area around Killeen pulse up in the late morning hours. And then we've really just seen some areas of flurries around the region as we've gone through the rest of the afternoon. You'll see another area starting to pick up there on radar around Williamson County. We'll see that continue to be with us. Flurries in the evening forecast. And then Brazos Valley, areas off towards the south later on the evening, they may see some snow, maybe better chances for snow south of Brazos County down towards Houston. Believe that, Houston, second snow already. Incredible. Temperatures very cold. Cold enough for snow. 27 Waco, 27 Temple, 27 in Gatesville. We've got a north breeze out of the northeast around 5 to 10. We've got wind chill values in the teens. Less than 30 minutes to see frostbite occur, so make sure you bundle up. Highs today. We didn't get above freezing. Still haven't got above freezing yet in Temple for this year. Not even close. 29 in Waco. For your evening, staying cloudy for the next couple hours. Clearing takes place by late evening, overnight. And with that, we'll see that cooling able to happen rapidly. And we're going to see temperatures falling down into the lower 20s and upper teens. Very chilly night ahead. We'll have your full 7-day forecast coming up, guys.
All right. Thanks, Zach. And Zach just mentioned getting the team back together. We looked on the calendar. It's been almost a month since we sat next to each other.
5th.
Vacations and vacations and more vacations. That's what happened.
Welcome back, Blair.
Yep. All right. Well, across the U.S., bitterly cold temperatures have frozen much of the country in place.
And as Sarah Dolph shows us, forecasters say conditions are not expected to improve anytime soon. In fact, they could get worse.
Just days into the new year, new winter weather records in communities across the U.S. Chicago's high on New Year's Day, a bone-chilling 1 degree, and conditions haven't improved. Morning commuters making their way to work Tuesday in sub-zero temperatures.
It's just frigid, like it's biting in the face, it's just cold. There's no way around it.
Classes at this Connecticut middle school canceled after heating units on the roof froze. Elsewhere in the state, crews working overtime to thaw infrastructure.
You fix one and then it puts more pressure on another area of the pipe.
A water main break in Davenport, Iowa froze this car in place.
I couldn't even tell you how many inches thick of ice that it has on it.
The cold not just miserable, but life-threatening. At least 8 deaths in 7 states are being attributed to the weather, and the danger isn't over. 116 million people now impacted. And winter storm watches have been issued for as far south as coastal Georgia and Florida. Homeless shelters there scrambling to accommodate overflow.
We don't want anyone to perish because of the weather.
A wait for warmer days that seem a long way off across much of the country. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
Well, here in Temple, chimney ash is being blamed for an accidental fire today. It happened around 11 in the 2500 block of Valley Forge Avenue. Firefighters say the ashes were put in a container that was not fireproof and then thrown out. That's when they reignited, setting a portion of the back porch on fire. Luckily, those flames did not cause a lot of damage, and the family is okay.
It is time to get back to work in Washington, and President Trump and Congress are returning to a rather hefty to-do list, including the threat of another government shutdown.
Today, a big Senate shakeup as one prominent GOP senator announces his retirement. Blaine Alexander has the story from Washington.
Well, Doug, Leslie, the Senate returns tomorrow and the House next week, and already lawmakers have a lot on their plates at the start of a pivotal midterm election year.
For Washington, the 2018 to-do list is starting off somewhat like the end of 2017. Most pressing, avoid a government shutdown again. Congress has less than 3 weeks to pass a budget. Also on the list, fund children's health insurance, approve natural disaster relief for hurricane-ravaged cities, and stabilize Obamacare marketplaces. Republicans hoping to use the momentum of a new tax law to jumpstart the new year.
It starts where we left off. Tax reform is working incredibly well. We're seeing our economy take off.
Among Republicans' wish list items, an infrastructure overhaul. For Democrats, fixing DACA, the law protecting thousands of undocumented immigrants brought here as children. But a compromise could prove difficult.
DACA has several issues. It's not just the wall. There's citizenship issues, there's chain migration issues. All sides have to be ready to compromise here.
From President Trump today, plenty of tweets on everything from the Russia investigation to airline security. And major news on Capitol Hill, this announcement from a top Republican senator.
After much prayer and discussion with family and friends, I've decided to retire at the end of this term.
Senator Orrin Hatch, the longest-serving GOP senator, announcing he will leave his office when his term expires this year.
And one big name reportedly considering a run for that Senate seat, former presidential candidate Mitt Romney. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Channel 6 News. Doug, Leslie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Blaine. A California woman rang in the new year by giving birth to twins. But here's the amazing part. The babies are literally a year apart. Maria Flores' twins were born less than 20 minutes from each other, but her son was born just before the new year, and her daughter was born 16 minutes into 2018. Now, as the first babies born this year, the Flores twins will get over $3,000 in brand new baby gear donated by local community organizations. The uniquely timed birth was even a first for the longtime doctor who helped deliver the New Year's twins, and was an extra surprise for Mom since the babies weren't due for another 3 weeks.
And this is today. What? We've got some really exciting news to share about us, the co-anchor of today. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hoda Kotb is the new co-anchor of the Today Show. The 53-year-old Kotb joined Savannah Guthrie at the anchor desk. She has been a regular fill-in in the anchor seat on the show and takes over for Matt Lauer, who was fired from NBC News following allegations of sexual misconduct. Hoda says she is honored to be given a chance.
Oh, today was one of those dream days, the days you replay over in your head a few times to make sure, like, did this really happen?
NBC News has ever made.
Hoda will continue to anchor the 4th hour of the Today Show with Kathy Lee Gifford.
Well, plenty of Central Texans make New Year's resolutions every year, but very few actually stick to them. With constant pressure to eat right and have the perfect body, losing weight is always one of the really popular ones set for this new year.
It is a tough one, but as Channel 6 News reporter Jasmine Caldwell explains, it is not impossible. She joins us live in Waco with some tips that she got speaking to an expert on that subject. Hey, Jasmine.
Well, Doug and Leslie, when it comes to losing weight, the fitness expert I spoke to say that after 3 months, most resolutions go out the window. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because people can't see instant results, so they get discouraged and give up. And that's why expert Randall Pfaff says it's so important to have a clear, defining goal and to really understand what target areas you want to work on. Then he says, talk about it with your family and friends so that you have a support system. He says overall, having a personal trainer will help tremendously and give you that extra boost throughout the year.
You know, losing 50 pounds is one thing, but a lot of people don't understand that you can lose 3 different kinds of weight. You can lose body fat, you can lose water, you can lose muscle. So getting somebody that knows about a little bit more experience and an expert that knows how to do that, that would be the first thing, is seeking a professional's guidance.
Pfaff has a couple of other tips, including why it's so important to hold other people accountable on your weight loss journey. Coming up tonight at 6, I'll share some of those tips with you. Reporting live in Waco, Jasmine Caldwell, Channel 6 News.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Still to come on Channel 6 News at 5, doctors are seeing more cases of kids putting small items in their noses and their ears. The advice they have for parents in just a few minutes.